Hi, this is lecture 10 of marketing analytics, and this is part 2 of lecture 10, whereby we will be discussing more on the digital marketing analytics, online marketing analytics, and a little bit on the power of social media. In the previous video, we looked at what were some of the data-driven digital marketing analytics. And for this video, we're going to continue on by looking more into how social media plays a big role in digital marketing analytics. Now, continuing from last video, we talked a little bit about making your digital brand. Now, digital brand can also be extended to your social media platform engagement. There is so much that you can do on social media these days, which is promoting your photos, audios, videos, and even recording your classes to entice new users with competitions, posts, useful information, and also encourage feedback. This is the power of social media. Social media allows you to generate likes and shares for your page, which then in turn gives you an indication of what people are really responding to on your social media posting as well as your brand as a whole. But always remember that social media is an engagement social platform, which means that allow yourself to use social media to find your audience, allow them the freedom to like, follow, share, and most importantly, comment. Social media is always not just about me, me, me. If you're a big brand, remember to use social media to interact with your consumers, whether they are loyal customers or even customers that has been with you for only a relatively short time, and also for new customers as well. Think about it as sharing is caring. For every 80% that you put out there in terms of content, always make sure that you share 80% of the love out to other people as well. Now, how can you make your social media engagement strong? Think about a few tips that I'm going to share with you here. Firstly, make sure that your visuals are very, very engaging and strong to get the best attention to make your products photos pop. Very vibrant colors and also pictures that speaks volumes of your brand allows the consumers to understand what your brand stands for and what your brand clearly can sell to them that meets their needs. Secondly, you might also want to think about using hyperbolic discounting flash deals. Now, in this day and age, a lot of the young people have this thing called fear of missing out, or in short, they call it FOMO. This allows you to make customers want the items now instead of later, even if it's cheaper to wait. Because what you do now is that you're telling your customers that this is a one-time offer and you are offering not just one time, but also you're offering limited edition product. Think about it as creating bundles deals for your customers that they cannot resist. It's good if the company does not run frequent sales, and it's good for you to just give your customers a surprise that they are delighted about. Grab your customers' attention by discounting at an unexpected time so that they will feel that this is something very special to them. When you're selling anything on social media, always remember to sell a story. Never put too much emphasis on the product, but the product is part of a story that you're trying to sell. Look at this article title, Local Old Woman Saves Cat, as opposed to 70-year-old woman climbs tree during harsh storm, rescues cat. Which one is more appealing to you? Obviously, the second one has more drama and has more appeal. And then look at also when you're selling your products and sell. If you're able to put customer and people centric in matching products, it sells better. Now, the best is Nike and Adidas. Nike never sells a product on its own without selling a story behind the product. It sells stories of the human spirit, and these are stories that really speaks volumes to customers, especially people who are athletes and their target customers. So Nike really knows how to sell their story of their story using their products to their intended consumer customers. If you're going live using any of the social media engagement, think about how you can use your live engagement to attract more customers to engage with you. Remember, the more your customers engage with you, the better it is for your brand because it allows you more opportunities to interact with your consumers, to get to know them better, and for them to get to know you better. Chat during your live events, during your virtual discussion. Allow yourself to maybe use promotional one-time offer deals using online auctions. And if you're doing a service, invite these people to be part of your demo in your brand page. This will give them a sense of belonging and a sense of specialty if they can allow to be part of your branding and offering on social media. Now, also remember to always link up all your social media so that everybody can find you anywhere, anytime, easily. As you can see, I have linked up my Facebook, my Twitter, my YouTube, as well as my Instagram account so that people can find me quite easily when they go to one social media page. Now, when you use social media, data is going to be expensive. So it's all going to be out there in the world. The most important thing is it is in the public space. Public space data are meant for people to see and look. So if you have a public space data, you can also use that to create your own social listening tool to understand what your consumers are talking about your brand and also people's brands. See, the opportunities is that the data is out there in the public space. So using social listening and search volume content analysis tools will help you to create stronger marketing strategy that meets the right target market. So let's break it down in essence, what is social listening and what is search volume content analysis. Social listening tools are platforms that connect to various social medias networks in order to extract consumer data. For example, you have Hootsuite and Facebook Insights, TweetReach, and also Instagram Analyzer. The benefits is that you can get your consumers' data directly from the consumer themselves. Because it's in a public space, you don't actually need to have permission. This will help your marketing professionals to make better decisions when it comes to the 4P. Certain social listening tools can be quite a number. Single attribute social listening tools focuses on a single aspect of a post, such as a text or an image. So for example, you can use TweetReach to look at what are people saying about a certain hashtag. Multi-platform socializing tools allows connection to multi-platforms. Example, Hootsuite, which connects Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and a host of other social media as well, and gives you a social media analyzer. Then you also have the native social listening tools. For example, social media outlets provide detailed analytics about who is interacting with your content. For example, if you have your own Facebook or Instagram account, you can actually use the built-in native social media listening tool of Facebook and Instagram account. As an example, let me just show you how social listening tools look like. For TweetReach, it's a single attribute but multi-platform. So for example, if you just want to look at Twitter alone, you can see the exposure or the reach of a certain tweet and also who is interacting with the tweet. Monitor and improve the social media strategy and focusing on just one social media platform. If you're using multi-platform social media listening tool, you can use the data extraction from Hootsuite to look at what are the main types of media that is being connected to you in terms of social media by your consumers, from where these people come from, what are the languages that they use, and they also have their own built-in sentiment analysis. It gives you detailed report and allows you to track social media as well. Then you can also use the native social listening tool, like for instance, Facebook. You can learn more about your potential fans, potential customers, where they are, and it's very important for them to improve targeting so that you can see what people like and don't like. Now, these Facebook Insights gives you analytic tools that provide direct by the power social media network pages. But remember, if you're using for social media, it is only available for business pages. Insights about your Facebook page like likes, new likes, net likes, reach demographics, and as well as a host of other things can also tell you. Just to let you know that YouTube also has its own YouTube analyzers, analytics you can use in terms of reach and demographic. It can also tell you if you're using ad space, they can also tell you how much you are using that. Now, how can you set up a native social listening tool in terms of Instagram, for example? First, of course, you need to go to your edit profile and use the Instagram business tools. You can choose any category and you can always opt out anytime you want. At the home page, always click on the hamburger icon, which probably looks something like a tree line on the upper right, and then you can go to the insights. From this, you can switch back to your personal account every time you want to, and then you can track what is your consumers or your people who search on your Instagram, what they like. Now, if you try this on your own, do you see anything that surprises you? I have tried it on my YouTube account. In your lectures, if I do see you, I will show you what I have found. Then we go to what we call are the search volume data tools. Now, search volume data tools is not connected to the social media, but these are more mainly on the Google search that allows users to see popularity of specific topics that people search on search engines. Now, these are public access and data can be downloaded into raw files. Google obviously will dominate this space with Google Trends and Google AdWords. I will break it down to you what is meant by Google Trends and Google AdWords. Now, Google Trends is used to track the ups and downs of a search engine result. And then Google AdWords will show you the search popularity, but it's designed to allow marketing professionals and opportunities for advertising. Now, let's take one at a time. Let's start with Google Analytics. Imagine you have a website. You can use Google Analytics to plug in this Google Analytics plugin to your website traffic and to check what are the demographics of people and their digital interaction engagement behavior, where they come from, what ads are the most or least effective to your page, and you can also find out how you can engage them better. So this Google Analytics is a great way to allow you to see who are the people and where they are coming from. You can look at certain lifetime values if you have Google Ads linked to your web page. You can also look at some of the behavior and the technology that they use to reach to your website. Now, with this information, it is really, really good for you to track how best to reach your consumers, new and as existing consumers. Google Trends is a fun way of analyzing what is popular and trending on Google search. Multiple searches happen every single second. When you know what people are searching for, then you know what is hot and hip, especially in your area or even around the world. It is important to know what is trending and when. This is the website for Google Trends. And when you use Google Trends, you can also break it down by geographic, you can also break it down by time period, and also break it down by different comparisons of searches. So you can also compare what your competitors are doing. Now, then you have Google AdWords. If you want your website to be searched very, very frequently, try using Google AdWords by plugging in your website and creating a Google AdWords account. This is Google's advertising system in which the advertisers bid for a certain keyword in order for their clickable ads to appear on Google search results. If you notice when you go to Google and you search for something, the ads will always come right at the very beginning. Now, these are the brands that has already paid per click for the Google Ads pricing models so that their website will appear right at the very top. Of course, with every word that you bid, the higher, then you will get a higher rank. Of course, lesser clicks means lesser chance, but prolonged duration. Now, I want to explain to you a little bit about how to choose the right Google ad word to use. In terms of Google Ads, this way you have a more commercial product compared to Google Trends because Google AdWords is a paid per click way of getting your website to be noticed or the products that you to be selling to be noticed and in the Google search engine. Google Trends is designed for company advertisement, right? Sorry, this is a more commercial product compared to Google Trends because Google Trends is more public space, but Google AdWords is designed for more company advertisement. It gives you a lot of analysis tools like keyword planner to see how often keywords are searched and also changes over time, giving you also an indication of the volume instead of an index of the searches of where and when these searches are high and low and so on and so forth. It helps you to plan your keywords, especially if you're using long-tail keywords. Let me explain to you a little bit about long-tail keywords. Why do we use long-tail keywords? So for example, if let's say you were to bid for a keyword which is very generic, for example, like bicycle. Yes, this is a very generic keyword and the chances of people finding your website is very, very high. The only problem is because so many people are using such a vague keyword, therefore it makes it very difficult for people to stand out in the crowd. Now, compared to if you use a much more long tail keyword, which is very much more precise and very much more attuned to what you are selling, it makes your search a little bit more difficult, but look at it this way. It will help you to find the people that you want to find, and people who are already interested in what you're selling will definitely find what they are going to find, and it will improve what we call the inquiry rates and the click-through rates. Highly descriptive terms using 2 or 4 more words collectively make up more quality searches. They are far less competitive and convert the highest. However, you have to now decide whether or not you want less cost in terms of competition or more cost in terms of finding your words or your ads. Now, I'm going to go into certain digital marketing metrics to give you a list of host of the digital marketing metrics that people use when they search online. This is a very extensive list, but it may not be by all means exhaustive. So let's begin. So let's break down the digital metrics which are primarily for visits and impressions. You start out with impressions. Impressions are just basically the number of time marketing content has been displayed, including the same person to the same person multiple times regardless of response. So how many times one particular person has seen a marketing ad campaign. Total reach is the total number of people who receive the impressions, or the total number of followers, retweets, or friends. That means how many people have seen or have the marketing reach the person without the person actually seeing it. Total visits to a web page are non-unique, including unlimited visits by the same person. So that means if, let's say for me, I visit a page 10 times, then my total visits will be 10. Unique visitors are unique visitors monitored by IP address. So even if I've seen the same ads 10 times and I go to the website 10 times, they will track my IP address, and therefore I've only used and seen your unique visit as once. Then there is new sessions. New sessions are basically the total number of new sites versus recurring visitors. Meaning to say that am I going to a new site when I look at the new people, Am I going to your site for the first time? If I'm going to your site for the first time, then I am a new session. There is also site time, which is the amount of time spent on a particular website or a social media provider. Next is the visit source. Where does the visits come from? Direct traffic, number of people who typed in the direct URL to get into the website. This, of course, today you can see is not so common because people rely a lot on Google searches to search for the things that they want. Referrals, it is the number of people who clicked on a link, maybe from a web page farm, from another website, or from another web link to get into the desired website that you have posted up. Organic traffic are basically number of people who reach the website by performing a search on Google or Bing. Social traffic are people who have reached your website when they search on social media for your link. Mobile traffic are people who search the marketing content through their mobile devices. And then you also have the very important digital marketing metrics, conversions. Now, there are several types of conversion rates. First, you have the total conversions, which are the total number of people who act on a desired marketing content. Example, completing a checkout, filling a lead form, or even subscribing for a service and signing up for a newsletter. These are the metrics which tell you that your marketing content actually work and transform to sales. Conversion rate is basically the ratio of the total conversions divided over the total reach. Micro conversion rates are the conversion rates at the campaign at a platform level. So if you have a very elaborate website, you want to see a particular content on that website to see how well that content has performed in terms of reaching to conversion. So this is what we call the micro marketing activity. You also have the conversion funnel rates, which is the portion of the customers who make it through to the next level of each step in the journey from impression to conversion. It is a customer journey. Example, from impression to click-through, you can have one funnel. From click-through to placing an item in the shopping cart is another funnel. And also from shopping cart to checking out is another funnel. All this depends on how detailed you want your digital marketing metrics to look like. Then, of course, there is also the lead to close ratio, which is the total number of sales that has generated leads by the total number of sales. So it is important for sales analytics to see whether or not your leads did actually translate into sales and tells you the effectiveness of your marketing leads. Finally, there is also the digital marketing leads. Bounce rate is the people or percentage of people who leave the web page after viewing the page only. Open rate is how many people who has responded positively to your email blast. Click-through rates is basically the number of clicks divided by the number of views. This measures the degree of the attraction of your platform. Highly popular click-through rates are the websites with good product title and also photo. And this click-through rate must always be more than 1% if you want it to be effective. Then you also have the inquiry rates, which are basically inquiries divided over visitors, that measures the products or information quality, which is getting people to engage more with the company. This should include photos, videos, price, and also minimum order quantity for the product detail so that people can engage more with the company. Now, this percentage must be at least more than 5% if you want to get a good inquiry rate. There is also the customer retention rate, whereby it's the percentage of customers who will return to buy again, and also the customer acquisition rate, which is the total marketing cost over a period of time divided by the total amount of new customers in that same time period. How many new customers are you getting? What is the marketing cost that you use to get the new customers to come in? Of course, the lower, the better. Now, I'm give you a very simple SEO example of the customer uh, uh, click-through rates as well as the customer inquiry rates. Now, if you notice from this data traffic analysis, between the top and the bottom, you notice that the customer view at the top and the customer clicks comparatively, customer views in the data traffic at the top is lower as compared to the customer views and the customer clicks at the bottom. Now, what this means is that doesn't mean that just because you have more customer views that you will have good CTR and good IR. You must always look at the visitors and also the inquiry rates. What you're trying to do is not to reach out to too many people which doesn't have any good response to what you are selling. But what you're trying to do is to get as many good possible leads as possible so that your conversion rate will be high. So sometimes having high customer views does not necessarily translates to high customer clicks. Even you can see that you have 1,000 visitors but you only have 42 inquiries. But having 100 visitors but 8 inquiries, you notice that the CTR and the IR for the top one is 2% and 7.5%, which means that this particular website has good CTR and good IR as compared to the bottom, which has very low CTR and low IR. So low CTR means that you have low quality and product name and main photo, which doesn't capture people's attention. And the low IR means that you have low quality and product information. So this will give you an indication of what you need to improve on when you are doing your marketing campaign. You can find all this information when you plug in your website to the Google Analytics. So what are some of the key takeaways that uh, I want you to see in this particular lecture? This has been a very, very long lecture, but there are lots of key takeaways that you can learn when you are creating or deciding on what digital marketing analytics metrics you want to use. Firstly, data-driven marketing analytics strategy requires companies to identify, analyze, and evaluate different metrics in relation to your brand, customer, and digital or development. Secondly, digital marketing opens up a whole new avenue for better customer engagement through branding, content, and social media engagement. Social listening and search volume data tools are great ways to investigate digital marketing performance in the public spaces, like for instance your social media platforms. And finally, digital marketing metrics are data-driven online metrics that allow for better realignment of marketing strategies that meets your business objectives more effectively. Think about using your own digital marketing metrics for your marketing analytics to see what is the effectiveness of your digital marketing plan that you put online for both your websites and also your social media sites. Now, for this tutorial, for this lecture, I have something interesting for you to do. You have read through the Google Analytics as well as Google Trends. So I want you to go through this video on digital transformation to show you how digital Google Analytics and Google Trends are used. There are several websites that I want you to look at. I would like you to set up a Google Analytics demo account where the link is given to you in the subject outline. Plug into a current website to track your visitors and see if you can apply some of the digital marketing analytics use. See if you can find some interesting results and present in your class. Now, if you do not have a website to use the Google Analytics demo, then what you can do is, if you have a business or social media account, for example, your Facebook or Instagram account, try to use the social media listening tool and report on the important analytics of your account. See what are the interesting things that you can find. If you have a YouTube account, you might also want to look at the YouTube Analyzer as well. Present your results to the class and see what are the interesting things you can find, as well as what are the marketing strategies that you need to tweak in order for your digital brand to stand out more. Thirdly, I would like you to also play around and explore Google Trends. Now, using Google Trends, do a comparison longitudinal search of 3 competing brands of any service or category. So, for example, if you are looking for flights, for example, you can search for AirAsia, Malindo Air, and also Firefly. Now, these are 3 competing low-cost service carriers. Uh, Try to search for this category in your country and see what is the difference or the similarities in these search categories. What are some of the interesting trends that you are able to search out? And what do these interesting trends tell you about the competing brands? Also, please spend some time reading this article, Marketing Intelligence and Big Data, Digital Marketing Techniques on Their Way of Becoming the Social Engineering Techniques in Marketing. This is very important and very simple to read because this is where social media is going to be the next revolutionary thing when it comes to digital marketing and also marketing analytics. Now, search through a lot of published reports online to see how social media big data analytics is becoming increasingly vital to businesses and find out what are some of the strategies these companies are employing to balance the data privacy, which is a big concern of social media in the public space users. Basically, finding out what are some of the important things that companies are doing to ensure data privacy of their consumers, especially in public spaces like the social media. This ends the lecture for this topic on digital analytics. Now, the next topic and next lecture, I'll be focusing on qualitative analytics, and I will be looking a lot into qualitative research, how you use qualitative research to engage consumer feelings, as well as sentiment analytics. Thank you and see you.